you can say whatever you want about Donald Trump, but if you're honest and objective, you will admit that he really wanted a peace deal with Iran, and he was very close to reaching one. So what is it that the worst friend and ally in the world does when you're just about to have that win? Of course, you go and blow the living crap out of Iran, which is what Israel just did. Folks, as always, welcome to the Modern Survivalist channel. If you want to learn more about realistic survival and preparedness, not because of fear and paranoia, simply analyzing reality and events like these and preparing for what's to come, you have the channel with a lot of information, and you also have my books, which I recommend for anyone that wants to learn more about this, survival skills, as well as surviving the economic collapse. This one based on my experience going through just this in Argentina. You now have the audio and Kindle version. Yeah, the audiobook, given the amount of text, maybe the audiobook is a good way to get to this. Yeah, available in the links there below. By the way, thanks for everyone that has bought, especially leaving the review on Amazon. Hugely appreciated, helps a lot. Worst friend and worst ally in the world. Literally, Trump was saying, and I needed to find this in the Spanish media because the English outlets did not publicize this nearly as much. This is literally what Donald Trump said. This is in Spanish. Estamos cerca de un acuerdo means we're close to a deal. Lo echaría a perder. This would ruin it. So we're close to a deal. This would ruin it in terms of Israel attacking Iran. So what is it that Israel does to the best buddy, best friend that they have? Of course, they go and ruin his deal. Guys, I think we all want to have peace in the world. We don't have nuclear annihilation. We don't want World War III. Having a peace deal with Iran was actually a good thing. Bombing Iran when Trump is just about to get a peace deal is a bad thing. But I guess that blowing up the rubble of what's left in Gaza does not make for great military contracts and money, so a new war is needed. It is insane. I think we'll look back at these times and wonder how. How is it that we were okay with this? What kind of pressure do they have that they can get away with doing this? How much influence and blackmailing is going on that the leaders of pretty much every civilized country is just saying, yeah, lots of things happen in that island, apparently. Very interesting. But this is what's happening right now. They're bombing military targets. According to CNN, they're also bombing civilian targets. And they're also bombing non-military nuclear targets. That's what you call nuclear power plants. Again, it was here in CNN, but CNN already removed it. So I'll have to go to the Spanish media outlet that we have here. It says that Israel bombed with more than 200 fighters, bombed all night in military and nuclear installations. Why the distinction between military and nuclear installations? Because these nuclear installations that they were bombing are not military. They bombed nuclear power plants. And in case you don't know about this, let me explain. When you use a nuclear bomb, right? When you use a nuclear bomb like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it is all of that radioactive material suddenly becomes energy, a giant ball of fire and destruction. But in a matter of a couple more months or so, the radiation is no longer there because all of that radioactive material became energy in the explosion, right? That's why you can live there. That's why you have today people living in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, actually beautiful cities in spite of the horrors that they endured. But if you bomb a nuclear power plant, what you have is not a transfer. You have all of that radioactive material, a lot more of it, spread throughout. That makes the place unlivable for thousands of years. Think of Chernobyl in terms of what you have when you bomb nuclear power plants. You have a nuclear disaster, which is a lot worse than a nuclear explosion in many ways, because that place is unlivable, and this spreads by wind. It is such a horror and an act of inhumanity to bomb nuclear power plants that is very difficult to explain. But this is what they're actively doing right now, so as to derail the peace negotiations that their ally, Donald Trump, was working on. It is crazy. It is crazy that no one denounces this for what it is. Madness, pure madness. But I hope that one day we'll look back. But since you're still here, let me give you the little piece of advice in terms of survival and preparedness that you should be aware of. What is it that you do when you're committing acts of absolute brutality and savagery, and you keep on doing them? You're starving people to death, you're bombing people that you're trying to have peace with, or you're so-called allies are trying to happy. What is it you do? Well, you do what is called black flag operation. You target your own friends and allies so as to make them think that they need to align with you against some common enemy. This is older than dirt. It's been done many times before. No, I will not say everything. You will have to do a little bit of this research yourself. But this has been done by some of the countries we're mentioning here, and it's been even admitted. It's not a conspiracy theory. This has been done before so as to align countries like the United States against people they want to see destroyed. Okay, so my piece of advice here is be extremely careful with any black flag operation, any attack, any incident, small or large scale, anything going on in some of these countries that oppose that madness. I would expect it in this current environment. Okay, so be extremely careful with that. You know what I'm talking about. If not, you probably need to do a little bit more research of your own. All right, folks, that's gonna be all for now. Subscribe to the channel. You have the button somewhere there and some other videos suggested. Take care.